You're on Rise and Shine with Matt and Phil all across Australia. And joining us is Tony from the Vision Christian National News team. What do you got for us for another story today, mate?
Another story of courage, Matt.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. This is about a man in China called the Gospel Warrior.
Oh, I love it.
Now,
Sounds like a movie.
It does, doesn't it?
a great movie. He is a Chinese man who was a drug addict, and for 10 years he just couldn't get out of it. Then he came to the Lord, and he became a street preacher, and he didn't want to do anything else but preach the gospel. How he financed himself, I have no idea, but he travelled all of China, just preaching on street corners and markets, that sort of thing, and he became a legend with the Chinese Christian community, and he's just been arrested again. He's been arrested 100 times at least.
Wow.
And initially the Chinese put him away for a couple of weeks, then let him out again, because all he was doing was just preaching on the street. But now they're trying to get him with charge him with crimes, even though he didn't commit any crimes, like financing anti-government rallies and things like that, and of course he had no finances to do that. But and disrupting the social order, and all he had was crowds who wanted to listen to him. And but this latest appearance, when they arrested him, the Chinese were so worried about him or his supporters that they closed off an entire street. If this was in a big city in Hunan province, which is called Henyang or something, I'm not sure exactly what it is. And they closed off this entire street. They put 40 specialist police clad in black all around the courtroom. And they did a pretend fire drill so that 800 government agency workers had to partake as well to keep all the supporters of Mr. Chen away from the court.
Wow.
And they're that afraid of him. They've locked him up for 1 year and 7 months this time, which is the longest sentence he's ever had, because after all previous sentences he goes back on the street and starts preaching again.
Wow.
But as part of a national crackdown, they're trying to get tougher on people like Mr. Chen. But he's also preaching inside the jail, or what they call administrative detention centres. And his wife has just been to see him, and she says, "Oh, he's radiant, he's bubbly, he's joyful," because he's preaching to so many people, and he wants to get moved to a new administrative detention centre so he can preach to more people.
Wow.
And he's got all these little gospel tracts, and he hands them out to police and court officials and everything like that. And you see the pictures of him, and he's just a happy-faced man. He's just smiling all the time and joyful. And he's really an inspiration to many of the Chinese Christian people.
I think he's an inspiration to us as well.
Absolutely,
How
yeah.
incredible. We've been talking about standing up for your faith, and that is a challenging place to stand out on the street and preach Jesus when you know you're going to be arrested.
And the Chinese have been so good at it. Remember Watchman Nee, who wrote many great books about Christianity, and then there was Brother Yun, the heavenly man.
Yeah.
He has moved to Germany in recent years, but his book is amazing. He walked out of one of the most high security jails in China. He just walked out because he heard God's voice saying, "Just walk out," and the prison doors opened.
Like the book
He
of
just
Acts.
exactly. He just walked out through 5 prison doors, down 3 sets of steps, out into a courtyard, out into the street. A taxi was waiting specifically for him because the driver had been told to go and wait for this man at the prison. And he took him to a family that was also prepared because they were waiting for him, because God had told them that Brother Yun was coming. And the Chinese let him stay out because they just couldn't believe that it happened, because there were all these guards around them. He said he felt like he was invisible.
Yeah.
An amazing story from China.
So Brother Yun, we did a History Makers interview with him.
Oh,
A number of years ago.
really?
He preached at my church. He had 600 people turn up. It was incredible.
Yeah. Oh.
And I remember when my wife and I met him, my wife was so impacted. She got on her knees in tears. He got on his knees in tears, and we all hugged together.
Oh.
It was like meeting, the Apostle Paul or something. Because the work he's done in China and around the world. He's got a vision to preach the gospel all the way on the Silk Road back to Jerusalem.
Oh, right.
His ministry is called Back to Jerusalem.
Yes,
Amazing
yes.
ministry. So great to hear these stories of courage from China. And it is one of the greatest moves of God the world's ever seen. The underground church movement in China.
Absolutely.
We need to be standing with our Chinese brothers and sisters. And really awesome to hear the great stories you guys are tackling with the Vision Christian News team. Thank you so much, Tony, for joining us. God bless.
Thank you. Same to you and Phil.